Welcome to the My House Podcast, a show about the past, present, and future goings-on at the My House Youth Drop-In Center in Wasilla, Alaska, with your host, Michelle Overstreet.
Hi, welcome to episode 45 of the My House Podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Overstreet, and today we are honored to be joined by Josh Broda, who is the overseer, Superman, coordinator extraordinaire for not only two restaurants, but a fundraising golf tournament that we love, and kind of man about the town, I would say. I kind of like that. So thank you so much, Josh, for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Isaac Smolden is also here, our production manager. Isaac, do you have any housekeeping that you want to knock out before we get started?
Golf tournament that is coming up on July 19th, and we have maybe two teams left available. The sponsors are gone. You could still sponsor, but the sponsors for the holes are gone. I think as of recording, we will still take sponsorships. Turns out we will put your business's name and shout you out everywhere that we can. But we have all 18 holes sponsored, which is really cool. Stacy did a great job with that.
And Josh.
As of recording, and Josh, and the whole committee.
And Vicky,
yes.
Yeah.
The teams, there might be one spot left for a team of four. So 18holesofhope.org if you're hearing this and you want to play in the best charity golf tournament in the state of Alaska, maybe the world. Yeah. I don't know. Probably the world. Yeah. But definitely the state of Alaska. Confident in that.
I think that the feedback we got last year was really, really positive. There was a guy who had golfed in tournaments all across the country. That was like his job for his company.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. Yeah. What a bummer job too.
Right. And he was like, man, this is awesome. And we had a couple of kind of high profile business people that said, boy, this is really a nice tournament. So thanks for helping us make it just beautiful and fun and elegant in a way that, only golfers can do. Elegant golfing, is that an oxymoron?
It's definitely not elegant people. When I'm golfing.
For some people, yes.
Yeah. Well, this is fourth annual.
Fourth annual.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So from what it was our first year to now, I'm excited to. I don't think we've been sold out this early.
I don't think so either.
We've been kind of scrambling. So we're making it the invitational that we had hoped for.
Yeah.
That we're moving towards. So
getting there. So thank you for that, Josh. That was, thank you for inviting us to be part of that effort and teaching us about how to do all those things.
It's been a learning experience for me too. It was like, oh, let's do a golf tournament. I know I've played in golf tournaments. And so it's been fun to learn how much hard work it is and goes into it. And your team, Stacy, wow.
Yeah.
I don't think we've talked about what restaurants Josh runs yet. And the fact that 3 of the premier dining destinations in Wasilla. And on top of all of that, you are organizing the best golf tournament in the state of Alaska. So at Settlers Bay Chop House is the newest one. Settlers Bay Lodge, the Chop House, and remind me of your third.
The Angry Salmon, which is not in Wasilla.
It's not in Wasilla, it's in Kenai. That is the newest one, isn't it?
Anchor Point. So just about 20 minutes outside of Homer. So right on your way to Homer. You can't miss it.
Very cool. Tell us about that.
How do you even manage that? It's 5 hours away.
Look. It's challenging in the winter when Raven cancels all the flights. I didn't realize how weather dependent, interstate travel would be. I've definitely packed in the car with 5 broad-shouldered gentlemen in a snowstorm a couple times trying to get down there and back.
Oh my gosh!
In the winter, so we managed to get it open. It's the old Anchor River Inn, built in 1958.
Wow!
And it used to be called Jake's Corner, I believe. Actually, a buddy of mine, his parents, April's Corner, is what it was called. Their last name. Built it back in the 50s, and this gentleman reached out to me after one of our grand opening, deals, and we've had it on Facebook, and he said, "Hey, that's my parents' place. I said, no way. So
wow.
He's got some cool stories that we need to memorialize. Unfortunately, he didn't have any pictures because I don't think they had cameras back then. But it was definitely felt like it was built in the 50s when we started renovations. It was supposed to be just a little fix up, put some new equipment in, and then 2 years later, we might as well have built a brand new building.
I've watched enough Love It and Listed to know that's never how that works.
Oh
as soon as you open up a wall.
It was, the infrastructure, the electrical infrastructure that was like, oh my gosh, how is this tinderbox not lit?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
How did you get involved in the restaurant business?
So I started in the restaurant business in 2008. I had been living in Florida for 7 years or so at that point, and going to school. Still wasn't a doctor, and so I was working construction, and then doing well, enjoying that, and 2008, the market obviously changed dramatically, and I kind of saw the writing on the wall when I started having to lay off my friends. And then I went to this chef at this restaurant that I used to take, the employees and clients to and whatnot, and said, hey, can I get a job? And he goes, why do you want to work here? And I said, I don't know. I've always wanted to work in a restaurant, or I enjoy cooking, which is like when someone says that to me now, I'm like, you have no idea. And he goes, well, I can't pay you what you're getting paid now. And I said, I don't care. And so I did that. I would work nights there. I think it was, I don't know, maybe 3-6 months, something like that. And then I did end up getting laid off, and I was making, I think $11 an hour.
Wow.
So yeah, I just kind of worked my way up and fell in love with it and found something that spoke to me, and here I am today, and I've got 3 operations, and I used to have hair. My sanity has gone.
I think a lot of people can relate with that, starting in back. It was a job that I did when I was playing hockey and in school, just starting in back of house, and you get that entry level position and work your way up. I don't think that everyone just makes that career shift and works, back of house like that, in your story, after starting in like a completely different field like construction and then making that change. So that's pretty incredible. How long have you been in the Valley? Your first restaurant was Settlers Bay Lodge, and when did that open up?
Well,
when did you begin management of Settlers Bay Lodge?
So we purchased Settlers Bay in March of 2019, and we had almost owned it for a year, and then Dunleavy shut us down on St. Patrick's Day for COVID, so 2020, right?
Got
and we went, well,
me.
it was a good run. And then,
wow.
We had to furlough all of our employees, and myself, my chef, and Maddie, our GM at the time. The 3 of us ran the restaurant just to keep the lights on and the doors open, doing takeout. The community certainly kept us alive. We were paying, eventually after a few days, we decided we needed at least 1 dishwasher, so we were paying them cash under the table. Hopefully the IRS doesn't listen to this.
We can cut that if you want.
Yeah. We were paying them tips. But yeah, I mean, if we were in another community, I don't think that the current ownership would still be where we're at with Settlers Bay. So, it's a pillar, a historical, legacy property out there. So I'm just, one of our values is just to make it better than we found it, to turn it over to somebody else down the road, and hopefully they can, improve on what we've done. So.
Nice. It's beautiful. It's wonderful to have a place that's a destination. I have a great story about Settlers Bay that I would love to tell you about. The auditor for one of our grants, our outreach grant, came, and he's ex-military, had, it was I's dotted, T's crossed, and there was no slack. And he didn't like, one of the things that we keep track of is referrals, and how many referrals come from just people in the community, just general, like citizens in the community that connect us up with kids. And so he was getting ready to leave the next day, and we wanted to take him out to a nice dinner. So we brought him out to Settlers Bay, and he was just totally blown away. The whole time he was eating, he was saying, I've eaten in some of the best steakhouses in Washington, D.C., and this food is as good as I have had anywhere in the country. He even ordered a piece of chocolate cake for dessert that he swore was like the best thing ever. And so my board treasurer at the time, Stephanie Broda, and I were just looking at each other like, well, this is good. This is nice. That's a great report. But before we left, the husband of a young lady who used to run our cafe came over to the table and said, hey, I don't want to interrupt your dinner, but can I ask you something? We've got a young man in the back that I think needs some of your services. Can I just connect him up with you? And cool. I was like, sure, yeah. Do you want me to come back there? Or do you want to bring him out? He goes, no, you can't come in the kitchen. I'll have him come out. And the guy that was the auditor looks at me and he goes, did you set this up? And I said, no, I didn't set this up. How would I set it up? There's a kid in the back. I don't know. And so the kid came out. He talked to us for about 15 minutes. Here's this ex-military, kind of grumpy guy. He's just totally in. He's like, okay, so what do we need to do for this guy?
That's cool.
And he's just completely in. And we left there and we're driving him back to town. And he said, I get it. I didn't get it before, but I get it. I get what you're saying. What are the odds that we would go out for one meal while I'm here and somebody approaches us at the table and asks about services for a kid? And he called me every 2 weeks until we resolved the situation that kid had.
Oh, cool.
And checked in on him and wanted to know about him. And I think he even might have called the kid. But it was such a statement about community, about how Settlers Bay Lodge is such an integral, connected part of this community. Not only do you offer great food and beverages, but you know what's happening in the community. You care enough about your employees to have them connected up to people that can help them in the service arena. Your staff is aware. I was completely blown away. And so was the auditor. He was going to ding us for that in our
really?
data. He was going to ding us for that. And he left here saying, this is a different community than anywhere I've ever been. And we felt so proud. So thank you for helping us feel so proud of our community and how we do what we do and connect to one another. It's pretty amazing, really.
Well, thank you for sharing that story. I mean, that's how cool. And I think I know the kids who you were talking about. I think he had a brother, right?
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one of the kids went on to a trade school.
He did.
Yeah. So that's very cool. And I guess the highlight of that story is the kid, not the meal.
Well, it was a little bit of both.
Yes.
It was a little bit of both. I think that the meal was really he was blown away by what we were, by where we were, the setting, the view, and the food. But the fact that we were connecting to kids there was, he was like, how far out of town are we?
Right.
He said,
what are the odds?
Yeah, we're this far out of town and somebody is making sure that this kid gets connected up. So I felt really proud of that. And so thanks for creating that kind of a venue out there. It's pretty cool. Not to mention we all enjoy going there and celebrating anniversaries and different things that are, it's Friday.
Right.
It's Friday.
Yeah. Well, Josh donates a ton of food, especially for the golf tournament, which I think is the best spread out of any golf tournament that I've been to.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
And I just think it's really cool that we have a partner that operates the type of businesses that we really push our clients towards and that our clients aspire to work in when they're in the cafe, that's that partnership is really cool. How did you were involved here and helping us here before I started working here. How did you end up connecting with Michelle, connecting with My House? When did that come about?
I believe it was our first wine soiree in 2019.
It was.
When we could still have soirees.
Yes.
I believe Cameron, our partner Cameron Johnson, had done some stuff with you guys and suggested that we partner with you. And so it was a logical choice when we wanted to do the golf tournament. I mean, you guys do so many great things for the community. You're based right here in the community, and we know the money and the time and the effort all stays, right here. So
yeah,
it was a no-brainer to me.
Yeah. And then the Chop House, I love the Chop House. It's my favorite. I don't get there often enough, and I fantasize sometimes like I'm leaving work and think I could just go over there and have an appetizer, and then I could go home and cook for my family if I wanted.
Yeah.
So it's really, it's really such a blessing in this community to have such a nice place, a beautiful place on the lake. What you've done in there is so top shelf in so many ways, and still down to earth. I mean, I think people have the perception maybe that it's that it's sort of out there, it's too fancy, but I think if you go there, you can have a burger for the same amount you can get one at Red Robin in town, right? I mean,
I think so.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Not that we're throwing any shade at Red Robin or anything.
Maybe
but
we should trim that out.
I mean, I do really like the Chop House's burgers.
I know.
They're really good.
Everything there. The carpaccio. I mean, that right there is just, it's so delicious and it's so unique. And when you combine dishes like that, I think with the ambiance and the other items on the menu, in the summertime, the sunshine's coming through and the lake is alive and there's planes landing and jet skis going. And in the winter, it's kind of peaceful and twilight and beautiful and the fire is going. I mean, it's just a lovely, lovely place. And thank you for building that.
Well, thank you. I don't even know how I follow that up as a. I can't speak that
it's
well
my
about
favorite.
my place. Thank you. It was such a cool project and another legacy property that this community has, grown up around. I guess there's so many people that have, told me, had my prom here. I got married here.
I had one of my proms there, actually.
Right. To be able to revive it, I mean, it had been sitting vacant for 15 years when we bought it. And so it was another 2-year project to get that thing renovated and kind of like Angry Salmon, just opening up a bag of worms every time we knock down some more sheetrock.
But that's really Josh's statement about you and about H5 and how you do things, that you don't do it halfway. You don't cut corners. Mm-mm. You're not just plastering over some damage that's underneath there. You're going through top to bottom. You're doing it right. You're making it wonderful and lovely and quality. And I think that resonates. I think that resonates in everything that you do. And I feel like there's a piece of that really it really belongs in this community, and it fits. It's part of the integrity that I think we really try hard here to operate with integrity and do the right thing. And that's what you're describing, that as a company, you're not just going in and putting up some sheetrock. You're making it quality. You're doing the right thing. You have integrity in those business practices. And I think people like that. I like that. I will come and give you my business because I want to do business with people that conduct themselves that way. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I know it takes a long time, but you do such a nice job when it's all done,
That was our goal. It's like, some of our, partners early on said, well, we can use this bar, right? Let's just
right.
change the carpet or something, my vision was a little different than that. And so, but I think you hit it on the head, and thank you for noticing. It has the curb appeal of a nice refined restaurant, and, it's new, but also it's Alaska.
Yeah.
It has the wood and the warmth of the fireplace and the stone in there, and you're right on the lake, So I told my staff, I said, look, I can't get you a prettier location.
No.
So our job is to not screw it up. People are going to come here just to look at that.
That's
so
true.
Let's try to match the food and the service,
Yeah.
So, and I think we're getting there. We're just past a year of operations. We just rolled out. We're open for lunch now, 7 days a week. We have a new updated dinner menu that has a lot more variety on it. So I think there's definitely options on there for everybody. And it's not, we're the same crowd as Settlers Bay. You come in your Carhartts and your shorts and your sandals.
Yep.
And if you want to have, come in with a coat and tie, we've got a place for you as well.
Yeah. Nice.
It's so fun to see, like you said, the planes, and then we have regulars now who live on the lake or coming in, jet skiing over, coming in and they're leaving their wetsuit on the jet ski and
Right.
coming on in. And I want a jet ski. I need a company jet ski. I
A
think.
company jet ski.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. So in terms of, was there any particular thing that appealed to you about My House in working with our clients and our programs?
I think on I guess a personal level, I have struggled in the past with some of my, self. I've been clean for 9 years.
Wow.
So, and I know that My House deals with a lot of addiction and abuse type stuff. So I can certainly relate to that. And I think it's important for the community to have options, to have the education, and to have programs. Then you guys, it's not that, I think what I really appreciate is you guys say a hand up, not a handout. And I think that's where the value is, because we've all seen people or known people who they, go to the spin dry and they get helped out, or family helps them out and continue and continue and continue, and they don't get any better. But if you give them the education, give them the tools, and make them work for it, then they have some vested interest in it and in their own success. And I think that to me is huge.
Mm-hmm. We agree. We see that. We see the value. Sometimes the struggle is an essential part of the process, and we appreciate that. That's good.
Yeah, we talked a lot about this community and building this community, and I think those tenets, the quality, the attention to detail, and that whole mentality is what really makes the Valley the best community in the state, I think. And Josh is a big part of that. Settlers Bay Lodge, the Chop House, Angry Salmon. If you're going down to Homer, and it's fishing season soon. So if you're driving down that way, you might as well stop there too.
Yeah, stop
Hit all
in,
three.
have a burger.
Yeah.
Yep, visit them. And then the 18 Holes of Hope. And thank you for being our host for that, Josh. It's been so much fun to learn about golf and golf tournaments and to grow that effort with you. Thank you for your support.
It's been fun. It's been a great partnership, and I hope that we can continue to do more things to raise more money for you guys down the road.
me too. Yeah, that's it. Oh my gosh, we're going to wrap up for today. I'd like to thank Josh Broda from Settlers Bay, the Chop House, and the Angry Salmon for being here with us, and 18 Holes of Hope. The My House podcast is recorded at the My House studio in Wasilla, Alaska. I'm Michelle Overstreet. Until next time, and thank you to Isaac Smolden also.